Awesome, awesome. So yeah, once again, welcome everyone to the week 5 of the DeFi Diplomas. Um, I am Precious Elisha, and I hope you're excited to be here today. Today we're going to be having an amazing speaker, Thomas. He's going to be doing an intro. Before we even kickstart, Thomas, kindly like do an intro and let us like know you more before we continue.
I was even going to be excited that you skipped the intro part. I was like, yes, let's just get into it. Yeah, so my name is Thomas Gondwe, and I'm a software engineer by profession, I guess, but I work on project management now. So I'm currently working on a project Summitshare, which is a repatriation solution. So it's essentially decolonization, but in a digital way. So is that okay as an intro? Yeah, okay, that's great.
Absolutely, that's okay. It's we just want to know, what you do, who you are, and that's like great for an intro. So, guys, let's just proceed to today's topic for discussion. So we're going to be learning about DeFi. We're going to be learning the core concepts of DeFi. We're going to talk about DEXs, decentralized exchanges. We're going to talk about lending and borrowing platforms. And we're also going to talk about real world assets. Like real world asset is one of the most trendy like things in DeFi right now. And I think it's very important for everyone here to learn to like get used to the whole thing you need to know about DeFi. And we're going to talk about assessing DeFi with HaloFi and others. So to get started, what is decentralized finance? We've talked on this before, and I think it's going to be pretty much. I'm sorry if you're hearing the background noise. It's raining right now, so yeah, thank you. So we're going to be like, we spoke about DeFi as a whole before now, and it is basically like just like we have it here, a financial system put on top of the blockchain. So now it is no more controlled by the government or any entity. It's like totally decentralized. And with the word decentralized, it means that like there's no there's no singular authority who is managing it. We talked about like nodes, we talked about blockchains and how everything is being recorded and how like there is no central authority. So this is what DeFi is all about, like financial system put on the decentralized blockchain on the blockchain. So yeah, um, it represents an alternative to financial traditional financial system. So like we've all, I think many of us or almost all of us here are used to like the the normal traditional banking system. You go to your bank. I wanted to make a payment earlier this month, and I went about 2 weeks ago. I went to the bank and I spent like 3 hours to just like withdraw and deposit a minimum amount of money in the same bank. It was really frustrating, and I was like, I'm not even going to try to open a bank account here because I was thinking like this money would have literally took me about maybe maximum of 2 seconds, 2 minutes, max to move around like from one account to the other on the blockchain. But here I was like in front of the counter with someone who is like taking the whole day to just take in and take out money. So these are part of the reasons. Now, even before that time, I wanted to like make a deposit. I wanted to inquire about like what I need to open an account, and I was like the counted series of document I need to bring. Like this is not the scenario on the blockchain. If you want to open, like if you want to use a trust wallet, for instance, you can literally do that on the call right now. You just need to save your phrase keys and then you're onboarded into DeFi. That's how easy like decentralized finance is, and compared to centralized finance. So let's move on. So what are the concepts of DeFi? Decentralization, obviously, like there's no central authority. It can be controlled. The government can literally stop it. I mean, I think they are trying, right? But like it is not controlled by the government, so it makes it decentralized. It is transparent. You can see everything on the blockchain, every transactions. You can go to the block scanner to like view details of transaction that has been in the past. In different countries, this would be helpful to like stop corruption. And so yeah, let's move to the next point. It is permissionless, it is trustless, um, it is programmable. We talked about smart contracts, um, and censorship resistant. Like nobody can be stopped from using the blockchain. So like these are some of the core concepts of DeFi. What makes us like want to use DeFi and like continue to use DeFi. So I think I do have like 9 more minutes, so I'm going to speed through this. Decentralized exchanges, like basically, they don't allow you to like, I mean, there is no need to have an intermediary. They just need you to like connect your wallet and do your transactions. So whatever, like most things you see with centralized exchanges, for instance, Binance, it is quite it is like the opposite when it comes to decentralized exchanges. Talk about Uniswap. You just need to connect your wallet, like go on with your normal transaction. There is no need for you to verify your account. There is no need for you to like, I mean, there are usually no much of a limit. They can't ban your account. And I mean, you totally have your money to yourself. But remember, we talked about this when we're speaking about wallets and crypto wallets, actually, that you're going to be the custodian of your money, meaning like if you lose your keys, your phrase keys, your money is gone basically. In cases like Binance, if you forget your password, like once you can verify that you're the owner of the account, which is not like much of a deal to do, you're just going to impose a 24 hours deposit like uh time, like a limit whereby you can't deposit, you can't withdraw, so you can withdraw within 24 hours just to make sure like a scammer is not accessing your funds, impersonating you. So like yeah, this is it about DeFi. It's on the blockchain, it enables peer-to-peer transaction, and it makes you have greater control over your assets. Like yeah, so let's talk about lending and borrowing platform. I think just for experimental purpose, just for you to like, I mean, have an idea of what lending platforms are, borrowing and lending platforms. Let's just talk about it first. So they allow you to like borrow out your money to earn interest. Apologies. Okay, they allow you to like borrow out your money to like earn interest on whatever you're borrowing now. So maybe you have $1,000 or like some amount of money you want to like, I mean, you're not using it at the moment and you want to earn some interest on it. So you can borrow it out, or like you can lend it out rather. You can lend out your money and then gain some interest on it. And you can also like borrow your assets. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are a whale, because we have so many whales here. Today is Bitcoin Pizza's day. So I am sure like we have so many people who are holding like many Bitcoins at the moment. So let's say you have one Bitcoin, for instance, and last year when it was ranging around 20 to 30K, let's just talk about when it was at 30K. You needed some funds, but you still wanted to hold your cryptocurrency, and you like don't want to sell your cryptocurrency. So what you could have done is to like place your Bitcoin as a collateral, and then you would get some USDT or whichever token you want to get in return. So you're going to be borrowing other assets using your collateral, using the one you the one you have already. So what's the benefit of this? Like I mean, at the end of the day, if your assets like increases in price, so now Bitcoin is around 67,000, like you're still going to pay back what you borrowed as of the time you borrowed it. So let's say you borrowed $1,000, right? You're still paying back $1,000, and you're going to receive the asset you borrowed like you stake there, you deposit as a collateral. So by now we know that okay, the asset you have there would have doubled in price because the price of Bitcoin has doubled since then. So this is one of the advantage of borrowing and lending platform. I will also have disadvantages also, and one of the disadvantages that like maybe the price continue to go down. I mean, you're going to see there when you want to borrow like your liquidation price, meaning the price it will get to, and your collateral will be converted to USDT to settle your loan. So basically, this is how it works. And just to share with you, like Mola is what we use at um, HelloFi for our interests. And currently, I'm not sure I can see the stats now because I'm not connected with my wallet. But currently, you can have up to like 20%. Oh, great! I can see the stats. So this is the APY it stands to um, get. That's like your earnings. I mean, it fluctuates, right? But this is like what you stand to get per year, assuming the interest rates remain the same. So it's going to be like 20% of your saving for each year, like per year. So like this is like what we use on HelloFi Save. Yeah, we don't have much time, so I'm just going to proceed. We have Thomas here who is going to like explain to us better. So yeah, you're going to get to understand more. So talking about reward assets, I'm not going to spend much time on these because I want to do a short demo. So reward assets are basically like tangible real life assets that are now tokenized on blockchain. So Thomas is going to talk more about this, but I wouldn't want to like take much time. So let's move to the next point. Assessing DeFi with HelloFi and other apps. You know, when we talk about onboarding users and providing service to the underserved, HelloFi is actually playing a big role to helping more people getting onboarded, right from like our interesting and easy to assimilate UI that allows new users to use HelloFi Save without like any struggle. Once you come there, we don't put any much jargons for you to like stress yourself. No, it's very much like easy for you to understand what the message we're trying to pass to you, and like we help because just like I said, in some places you might need some. I mean, to even have a dollar account in places like Nigeria, it's not an easy task, trust me. So, like, this is something you can have by just creating a wallet, and you can start saving in stable coins when you use HelloFi. So, I'm just going to proceed to like just show a quick demo, and immediately after, I would like hand it over to like Thomas. So I'm going to show a quick demo of how HelloFi works. Just a moment. Um, just a moment. Just apologies. Okay. So yeah, here we go. So great, great. I'm going to show a quick demo of how this works, right? Like this is HelloFi website here, and I mean we have a point live, like a point system live already, but let's just go through how this works, and let's do a quick demo. So here's a lo-fi save, and you can see the interest you earn on saving, like when you save with CUSD. Now you can save with USDC on base also, but with CUSD you can save with Celo. So if we click on try it, it's going to take you through like a short fun information you need to know. When you save on HelloFi, like we don't actually have your money, it's 100% non-custodial. So like you have 100% control over your money. Even if I wanted to like, I trust me, I don't. But even if I wanted to have your money, I can't because I don't have the assets. We are audited. So except you actually come to send me like 10,000 BTC, because today's Bitcoin Pizzas Day. So yeah. So you can create a goal and you can just decide to save with HaloFi Save. So let's just go back to like connect our wallet. You choose MetaMask and you confirm the transaction, and that's like as easy as it goes. So just a moment. I just want to quickly delete this so we can have a fresh slate to work with. So with HaloFi, I made a quick demo. I'm just gonna like talk about the key features. One of the features is that you can save and you can earn like per. I mean, your earning keeps on increasing every second or every few seconds, depending on how much you save. So maybe if you're saving $100, you see your earnings increasing. We're going to see it in like in few minutes how it works. So that's one of the key features. You're saving in stable coin, you're hedging against inflation, against currency devaluation, your money is retaining its value, and yet you're still getting interest on it. So that's one of the key feature. Here is sorry, can someone just drop the link to this call to the Telegram? Someone is asking for it. Thanks. So here's the link to deposit. So you can maybe let's deposit $1. Since I have $1 on my account, you can buy here, but let's not like let's not take long. So once you like input the amount you want to like save, it's going to show you the network fee, and you're just going to proceed to like make a deposit. You confirm the transaction on your MetaMask, and after approving the transaction, it's actually like going to take you to the next transaction. The first one was to allow to approve the spending limit, and the second one is to move it to HaloFi. And so basically I'm taking you firsthand on how to like access HaloFi Save. I mean, I'm going to share the link after this call, or let me just do that now. I shared the link of how I saved $3,100 here, and I was able to like get a MacBook, and it was like, trust me, it was fun to do because like your money is increasing, and it's not just your money, it's like you're getting some extra like interest on it. So I just share the link for anyone who is interested in viewing. So but let's go back to what we're doing, and now the deposit is completed. Here you can create a goal. So what this allows you to do is to create any goal. Maybe I want to save for a house, and I'm saving $50,000, for instance. I want to save it 8 months, and yeah, you can add your email here. Sorry, exactly. You add your email, and what this does is to send you monthly reminder so you don't forget your goal. So you're on track for your saving. Like whatever you want to save for, you're going to like, get reminded of. Maybe if I had saved $10,000, it would have moved here, but because it's $1, it's showing this tiny amount here. You're going to see it like you're going to see your goal here. And let's say I want to withdraw. This is the final thing I want to do. But before that, let's check this very cool dashboard, right? So here you can copy your wallet address. Someone wants to send a deposit to you, like someone wants to send money to you, you can copy your wallet address. And here is our current pointing system that is live. What this allows you to do is get 10 points for each dollar you leave in HaloFi for 24 hours. Like this is really cool because a lot of pointing system are going live right now, and like if you want to read about it, you can come here. But it's a cool thing we decide to like bring up for our community. So this place is just to show you the difference between your wallet balance and your HaloFi balance. And finally, we have a current leaderboard, and we are sharing this reward for this week. About 400 and something dollars, I think. And you can be on the leaderboard to share part of the reward. So, we've taken much time doing this. So I'm just going to proceed to make a withdrawal. Let's withdraw our $1 back. And before we make a withdrawal, we can see our account is empty. Then we're going to withdraw this, and I'm confirming the transaction on my MetaMask, and we're going to withdraw we're going to receive a notification that the withdrawal is successful. And that's like how easy it is to use HaloFi Safe. We do not keep your funds. You have total control over your funds. And voila, the withdrawal is done. And if you come here, you could see the $1. So apologies, especially to our speaker, who, I mean, I didn't like, I'm 5 minutes overboard. Apologies. But now I think you all understand how HaloFi Save works, how you can use HaloFi Save to save towards your goal, regardless of whatever you're saving for. I mean, you can save in weeks, in months, in years, like just keep saving in stable coins. If you're in Nigeria, you will understand, like, not even Nigeria alone, I think in Kenya also, and in Ghana here, dollar have left $12 to $15. And I mean, we crypto bros, we are happy, right? But we are not really happy because it's still an inflation, right? But just keep on saving. Yeah, Thomas say any African countries, exactly, like the currency situation is not the best. So please, here is an opportunity for you to like save, earn points, and from the leaderboard, you can win up to like $150 if you're at the top of the weekly leaderboard. And yeah, that's it for HaloFi Safe. So without wasting much time, I'm just going to like welcome our speaker for today. Thomas. Thomas is going to like be taking us on DeFi and real world and assets in total. So yeah, thank you, Thomas, for your patience.
No worries. You actually gave a good demo of actually what goes into interacting with the app, with the wallet. So that's, much appreciated. So thank you for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas once again, for those of you that just joined in, and I'll be taking you through DeFi and real world assets. I'm going to share my screen and get my slides up. And essentially, real world assets and DeFi is really interesting buzz space for everyone, because people are like, oh, how do I make money with this? How do I use it? Is it real? And so on and so forth. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah, I can see it. Great. Okay. So yeah, to start with, I like to start with everything from like a very foundational perspective. So that's why I'm going to give thanks to Precious for taking us through that intro. And I'm just going to take you through another side of it, just so that we're all on the same pace. As if you want to talk about anything, any topic that's worth discussing, you have to start with common definitions. So let me take you through this. So definitions, what is decentralized finance? As Precious said, this is a blockchain-based financial system. So the way we know the traditional financial system with all of the banks, governments that preside over the rules of how money should move from place to, just a basic transaction system. So that is it. That is our current traditional finance. It gets abbreviated to TradFi, but I don't like much abbreviations. I just call it traditional finance. So the decentralized financial system is essentially that. That is decentralized finance. It's moving that entire hub onto chain, meaning that we get all of the advantages of having anything on the blockchain. It's immutability, meaning that we can't change what's already been put into change, and transparency. And as my fellow Africans know, transparency is a very huge thing in our country. So this is one of the advantages, and it's permissionless as well. We don't need permission from any central authority in order to transact or share information. So this is one of the huge advantages that we, occupy by virtue of just being on a blockchain. Then real world assets don't need to even take much time there, because the physical assets, the things we interact with on a daily basis, anything that we find have like physical value, our laptops, our phones, our cars, our homes, and anything in between, any tech that you have that you spend money on, as long as it's a physical asset that that we can call it a real world asset, and I think that's fine to call for. So what are the key components or the primitives of DeFi? So what makes up DeFi? So you guys have actually gone through a very interesting course where you've covered all sorts of things from smart contracts up to this point on. So I won't even spend too much time defining these things, apart from, the basic text I have up there. So smart contracts, these are the self-executing code that we use to send information up to the blockchain, or to instruct the blockchain to do something, or essentially just to put in an agreement. So it's an agreement that we're going to write in terms of code for it to be executed on a blockchain. And decentralized applications are those that leverage smart contracts. So these decentralized applications use smart contracts in order to do X or Y or Z. If I want to say, like for example, what we just saw with the HelloFi Save, if I want to send money or withdraw it, that's a smart contract function that's responsible for that. And then finally, tokens. So tokens are digital assets used within DeFi ecosystems. So it can get very easy to make tokens synonymous with like currency, but for the sake of this, just keep an open mind. So tokens are digital currency, right? But then tokens are not only digital currency. So let's just keep that very important definition there. Yeah. So we'll just call them digital assets for now because that's a very great definition for that. Yeah, and then another way to look at it with this analogy that I have here, because I wanted to draw a parallel between traditional finance and decentralized finance. So imagine the blockchain as the bank database, right? So if you've got a bank database, this has all of the records from customer names, customer emails, foreign exchange rates, and all of these different things that the bank would be made up of. Those things relate to each other in one way. They've got relationships, but they are not similar. So that's an important note. And then smart contracts, you can look at them as, the automated instructions. So when you press withdraw on your banking app, money comes out because, there's a script there that's responsible for taking money from point A to point B. And anything in between, from you logging in to you sending money to you withdrawing, depositing, all of those functions, you can look at it like smart contracts because that's the way it works, right? But then again, smart contracts are not limited to only that. So yeah. And then dApps. dApps, you can look at them as your banking applications, your mobile app for whichever bank you're with, the one that you use to interact with your bank. That's what you can look at as a dApp as. And then tokens. For this example, I put them as digital money. So digital money or the tokens represent the value held in bank accounts. And it's important to note that all money is digital money, right? All money that you do not have physically, that's all digital money. So, and then in traditional banking systems, it's not the way we have it on a blockchain or on chain, because it's simply just a record of like one. You have money in your account, so one. It's a one and zero. You either do have money or you don't have money. It's literally just a record in a database saying this client has money. So, it also causes those security concerns. Like, what stops someone from just emptying all of that into their own account? That's one of the security concerns with traditional banking systems, is that, it's just a database with records. There's nothing special about it. If you have, it's just it's a book. And moving on, it's like we have to look at it from two sides. Is DeFi really important? And if why should we use it? Let's compare it to the actual traditional finance system in order to see, if it's really important. And with this slide that I have up here, we can go through the parts of the traditional finance system, the old system. So it's exclusionary. As Precious just demonstrated with dApps, is that you can essentially just connect your wallet and get started with these finance dApps. It's very little KYC. Only centralized exchanges like Binance and Coinbase would need you to run KYC in order to trade. But then you've got these decentralized exchanges that essentially you don't get left out because you can't prove your address, because I mean, this is 2024. Why should we still need to have proof of residency in order to have access to like money? And it's not even money generally, it's your money that you're using. So it's a very funny thing. And it's exclusionary for that reason, because the way the current system is set up, in order to just be secure, needs to leave up a bunch of people. And that's why I've got this thing of like unbanked population, people who do not have access to traditional finance systems. And then it's bureaucratic. And bureaucracy ties into centralized control. I mean, with any centralized system, you're going to have a hierarchy of authority. You're going to have a quick hierarchy. You've got your bank. Above your bank, you've got your local financial intelligence, organization. From there, you've got your government. From your government, you've got the Financial Action Task Force. Above that, you've got World Bank and all of these other huge organizations. So you can already see that there's a lot of people deciding what actually happens on the ground before it even reaches you. And that creates all of these exclusionary rules because it means, okay, for the sake of security, so why should we reduce reducing in quality of service because we want to guard against A, B, C, D, and E? And as I said, you're using your money. They're actually, traditional finance system, banks and micro finance institutions. Yeah, the service they're providing is the ability to have digital money and transact, right? But then why, there's that need to stamp you with all of that regulation and, limit your access to do anything with your money? I mean, access to dollar accounts, it's crazy in any African country because they have to come up with this list of documents that, I am a real person, you can give me this account in order to use my own money. And that's like one of the generalizations. Like, why should we trust third parties in order to use our money? Because, why doing you this favor? And, the lack of transparency, as I said, this database is not something that sits for everyone to see. No, banks are, it's split between private and public institutions. So, private institutions, which make up all of the banks that we interact with, don't have that ledger out to show everyone, oh, this is how much money we moved today. The way we've got on a block scanner, like Etherscan, for example. And it's like, okay, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. For all if some our money has been lost and the next day someone did something in order to bring it back, and it's like, oh, okay, I finally have money. I've got like outages essentially. Have you ever had outages where you try to access your money and you can't? So there's all these things that we'll never know on the side of like the customer because we don't have access to the ledgers, the lack transparency. And then limited access, again, I define that is just, that reduction of service in order to enforce rules. It's fine to enforce those things, but you shouldn't have to sacrifice quality of service in order to satisfy, just to secure that protocol. And then slow transactions. Sending money may take like a day. Foreign transactions don't, forex doesn't move over the weekend. You just got all of these things again that go towards creating like security, which it's like, why should we do that? And then here comes DeFi. It's like, okay, let's take away all of that, right? We're going to have the blockchain or whichever blockchain we're operating in secure against all of these things, right? And with the introduction of transparency, we'll be able to safeguard against a bunch of these things traditional finance has sacrificed in order to just, protect themselves against. So inclusive access. Decentralized finance is inclusive, and I put an asterisk there, I'll explain, is inclusive for a bunch of reasons because nothing stops you from just downloading a wallet and having your keys. It's self-custodial, and that's such a beautiful thing because it ushers in this narrative of ownership. Ownership has, in this current digital age, is getting redefined because ownership essentially just means the basic definitions. I own this, I can do whatever I want with it, and it is within, my rights as an owner of this property or this asset, right? But then that definition is getting altered in this digital age that we're currently existing in. And that's something that the introduction of decentralized systems aims to reduce or, improve upon or bring back that traditional sense. So it's inclusive because it's self-custodial. You can get a wallet as long as you've got internet access and you have access to all these decentralized applications and financial services that traditionally wouldn't. I mean, you can't, if you've ever interacted with stable coins, you can't compare your experience, setting up a US dollar bank account and buying a stable coin. You can't. Those are two different experiences and they feel worlds apart. And the decentralized control, no one sits on this thing saying that, okay, we're going to limit how much you can do this. The system inherently works with no centralized authority, which means that everyone has equal access, everyone and our code. Ethereum has this thing of external owned accounts or just wallets, and smart contracts are first class citizens on Ethereum, which means that these are the primary occupants of this ecosystems. These are the deciders. So as long as you've got a wallet on Ethereum, you are a decider of what happens because you occupy that, and no one, you decide of what happens with your assets. No one can tell you otherwise. and automate everything. Smart contracts are beautiful pieces of code that you can just essentially say, I want to, as Precious defined with, flash loans, for example, where it's I'm giving money, I'm going to put money into this thing and I'm going to exchange it essentially. I don't want to spend my Bitcoin, but I need money, so I'm going to borrow against my Bitcoin. And if exchange rates start going haywire, then automation will essentially just say, oh, hey, settle that loan, convert that Bitcoin into US dollar so that I can so that protocol settles its loan. And that's just one small example. You can literally automate everything from withdrawing, swapping, borrowing, and exchanging token, or even bridging across chains, because of that interoperability that smart contracts allow you to have on a blockchain like Ethereum, for example. And high transparency. We've got block scanners. I mean, you can literally see every transaction that happens is the genesis of Ethereum. And that's very important because it means that starting from the beginning to now, we are going to have access to all of that information, and no one will be able to say, oh, this transaction happened. No one was aware of it. 50 billion was stolen, for example, but we are able to see what happens on a very intricate level, because like, oh, if I give money to this dApp, I can track how this dApp moves my money and so on. Like, you have access to do that. I mean, traditional user experience, you shouldn't, but I mean, you do have the ability, and that's beautiful, and fast transactions. You've got transactions that settle regardless of whether it's a weekday or a weekend. You've got fast transaction speeds depending on the chains they're using. But again, I'll just speak in the context of Ethereum. You've got chains like Optimism and Base that are settling transactions in seconds with minimal fees. I moved $2,000 recently on Optimism, and I paid like 0.0014 cents. And that's crazy. I mean, if you want to move that money anywhere in a traditional financial system, the hell you have to pay first on documentation, on fees on themselves, and then all of the wait time between transactions is a ridiculous amount. And then going back to the asterisk I left on inclusive access, the reason I say, inclusive access is because we are existing in the same time that these applications systems are being developed. So it leaves much to be desired on the user experience side. But then we've got beautiful, use cases, applications like HelloFi and what many other people in the space are doing, where they simplify the user experience so anyone could have access. But the system is imbued with access for everyone, and no one should be discriminated against because for any reason, where you're from or anything like that. That's where these non-discriminatory decentralized systems come in. One application of DeFi, in case you may be wondering, what has actually come out of DeFi is it's something that's usable, and stablecoins are a good one. And it's good that you touched on stablecoins previously, and I'm just including them here because I really love the idea of stablecoins in Africa. DeFi has facilitated the creation of stablecoins, which are tokens on blockchains that have one-to-one ratios with, fungible assets, fungible tokens, like the US dollar, for example. You've got CUSD, which is Solo USD, you've got USD Tether, USD Circle, USDC, all of these different things that essentially maintain a one-to-one one-to-one peg with the US dollar. And just by virtue of having this on chain, we get a store of value. It's immune to currency devaluations. And, we're laughing that, as long as you're from any African country, you're going to know what currency devaluation is. And it's a horrible thing, but this is one of the most beautiful things. And it's like, this is a trade unit. It enables seamless trading or unit of trade, trading and of transactions of whatever you're trading in between, and it's highly accessible. Anyone with a wallet and internet access can own these stable coins. And the importance of this from such a like for not even from a global perspective, but just from an Africa perspective, is imagine decentralized access to a token or a currency that does not change in value, That means number one, you're allowed to store your money in something that doesn't fluctuate. Number two, you've got the certainty. Your account won't get closed or have this rate limit for 48, 24 hours because you did A, B, C, D, and what, and you won't know why. Because that's one of the beautiful things with self-custody. Whenever you've got self-custody in a system, you are able to just manage your X's, your A, B, C, D's, and everything. And with something like stablecoins, you just allow this permissionless currency where you decide what to do with it. And it's just got such huge implications. I even wrote something on stablecoins a few weeks ago, which I'll share with Precious to share with all of you later on. Yeah, so moving onwards, so dApps or with DeFi, anything that has to do with a dApp marrying DeFi, they're called DeFi protocols. And some interesting DeFi protocols are, MakerDAO. MakerDAO are the creators of DAI, the stablecoin. And so essentially, DAO came together and managed. And the DAO is just people coming together. It's not that the DAO can be the DAO has to be people from this chain and this chain. It doesn't matter. It's just literally people who came together and decided, okay, we want a stable coin and are going to collateralize against the US dollar in order to maintain this value. And if anything happens, liquidate our collateral or our ether in order to just, maintain that one-to-one peg. So DAO came up with a stable coin. And then we've got Uniswap. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, meaning that all you need is your wallet to do anything on Uniswap. And it uses AMMs, which are automated market makers, which essentially just match your transactions. I need to sell someone's, within like peer-to-peer networks, for example, or even within their own liquidities. I need to sell, so let me get matched with someone who's got the USD as liquidity, or so on and so forth. It just automates your transactions in order to make sure that this stays at this and this goes to this, and when this is done, X should work. Sending money should be sent, receiving should be sent. And then Compound is also another interesting one. And sorry for not putting logos. As simple as possible. Keep it simple, stupid. Compound is a decentralized lending and borrowing protocol. So you can do similar of you want money, you want stables, right? But you don't want to spend your Ether, your Bitcoin, your Solana, whatever asset you may be playing with. And you're able to deposit your asset and borrow against that. And then Aave also does similar, but it's advanced in lending and borrowing because it's got features that are flash loans, and flash loans are very interesting things that got introduced onto Ethereum, or essentially, we can just make loans at this pace where it's like, okay, I want to borrow against this, and if anything should happen, there's this large amount of automated instructions to say, if exchange rate goes down, if this asset loses value, if this asset appreciates, and all of this stuff, you can automate a lot of things from your side as the user. And that's just a few examples, because obviously there are more DeFi protocols, and essentially anyone could make up a DeFi protocol, but not anyone can secure one. But these are just some protocols that I found uniquely interesting to place in here. Then comes the second section, right? Real-world assets and DeFi. Where do these two things meet? Because we've been talking about DeFi on this very digital scale, right? So how do we introduce something like real-world assets? And whenever you marry these two things together, this list I have up here is what you get. So it comes back to the definition of a token. We've done a sort of full circle. A token is not limited to a currency, it's not limited to the definition of a stablecoin. A token is literally just a representation of an asset, and that is the best definition. And if we say tokenize a real-world asset, how do you go about it? And this is, converting physical assets into digital tokens. And we could do this with like bonds or anything from even title deeds, for example, which is there's an interesting protocol. I've just forgotten the name. That's also interested in doing this. Land rights and all of these things. If we tokenize those official documents or anything related to real world assets or like something that represents ownership, you remember, because we've still got this narrative of ownership. Anything that signifies official ownership of you owning said asset and you tokenize that, you get this list of things, this wide array of things. And let's say ownership and control. Ensuring transparent and direct ownership of assets. If I've got a block scanner and I'm able to tokenize whichever asset, say I want to tokenize a certificate of authenticity that I bought my laptop or I bought my watch, right? Yeah, let's use a watch. And if I say, this watch is, this is the watch I got from the retailer, and I want to tokenize that, and it's forever going to be tied to my wallet address because my wallet address is me existing on that chain. So you get ownership in its purest form because it means that if you want to transfer that tokenized certificate of authenticity, and we say if I sell my watch, I'll send it to whoever I sold that watch to. I'll send that certificate to them, and then it will just match up. It's because that reward asset matches up to that digital token, that symbol of ownership of that particular token. And it's like, okay, this is what we're going to use as a measure of ownership. And then going back to that definition I made is that currently in this digital age, we've got a problem with ownership because, of this place that we're going to where everyone wants to redefine ownership as digital licenses rather than actual ownerships. Like rather than me telling you, you're purchasing this, right? You're purchasing a watch from me. So I say, okay, terms and conditions. I'm just offering you a license to have this watch and I can revoke it at any time I want. Obviously it doesn't fit for a watch, but the things like digital games or movies or, whatever it may be, any digital asset, you've got these problems. And you get improved transparency, you get fractionalized ownership. If I can split up, allowing multiple investors to own portions of high valued assets because they're tokens, it's divisible as much as I want it to be. Accessibility and inclusivity, liquidity and market efficiency, provenance and authenticity, meaning that as I give an example with the proof of the certificate of authenticity, we're able to see that trail of ownership that I send to this person, I send the token to this person, and so on and so forth. And automation and efficiency, because you've got this, strength of smart contracts to essentially do anything you want with whichever ownership token that you have. And uses of fluid assets in DeFi. You've got real estate investment. Tokenized properties enable fractional ownership and trading, meaning that if I want to create this pool of owners of like a property, I'll say, okay, let me invite you, all going to hold this token, which signifies ownership of like this land or this this portion of housing or this real estate. And we're saying, okay, we're going to distribute this upon everybody who's part of this pool. And that's just a basic example. Commodity trading, digital commodities like gold, you can trade those. Bond issuance, decentralized issuance and trading of tokenized bonds. Provenance tracking, as I said before, we're able to see that the transparency of ownership, which is an important thing for anything that needs to be sold in terms of assets, because you want to know who owned this thing. You don't want to purchase something and find out it was used in a crime and later be investigated for that reason, right? And this is my last slide. And even the current project I'm working on, which is essentially, as I said, the repatriation solution, we're taking physical artifacts that sit in museums in European countries and tokenizing them onto chain so that at least we can bring some sort of value addition in terms of the information they have as well as the ownership digitally. We want to create this canvas where everyone who's at least let's say the Africa, which is our use case, all of these African countries that have been affected by the problem of the colonization and then artifacts get taken over to here and whatnot, right? So this is where reward assets come in, because reward assets on chain, for example, we are able to take all of those artifacts that are that exist in real life, and create one-of-one tokens that signify, the ownership of those, and distribute them to this pool of, okay, this is this country, this is this country. We aim to create this, shared canvas. I'd like to call our project a canvas, because we want everyone to come in that's affected by this problem and draw on the canvas and participate and own what we are doing. So that is my sort of rundown on DeFi and real world assets, and I hope it was, knowledgeable and just sort of intuitive to everyone, so that it didn't really get too complicated. I'm looking at time, and I think we're going into questions now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Thomas, for taking these. I personally got some amazing insights from these, like learning about reward assets, about its application, and I mean, I'm sure many people here have like learned a lot. So please, now is the time for questions and answer. We have gone overboard with time, but we're still gonna take like 5 minutes to like take questions and answers. So please, if you have any question, please feel free to like, now is the time actually to ask your question so we can answer your question. So please, if you have any question, just drop it in the chat section and then we're going to like answer it immediately. Waiting for
yeah. Access to the slide, I can share that with Precious to get it to you guys. So just for your own, use.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. We're going to also, I think many people, especially those who are not here, like might want to like go through this whenever like they come back to I mean to go through the workshop. So I can always share the link in our respective groups so people can learn more about it. So I think this session was much explanatory, and so we do not have a question at the moment. But please, if you have any question at all, Thomas is Thomas Gondwe X. So you can like send a DM to like ask any of your questions you want to like, maybe you have any question, and here is a project lead at Summitshare if you want to like I mean if you want to like learn more about like real world assets. So we have a question, Thomas. It says, how can I invest in real estate using digital tokens?
Okay, so the investing in real estate using digital tokens essentially come down to number one, who owns that property, because obviously they have to be for the idea of this distributed ownership, rather than it being, just someone you go to like, oh, I want to own part of this thing. Here's my ether, and you've also got that negative side of government regulation, but essentially it's very simple. It basically comes down to any document that signifies ownership of that property, that real estate. So I'm just going to refer to it as property. So if you've got a document that signifies, okay, I, Thomas, own this property, right? And I want to tokenize that, right? Because it first starts with the tokenization of anything that signifies that you own that, because that's the most important thing, right? And if I say, okay, I'm going to delegate, so I'm going to delegate the ownership of this asset. Let's say I'm going to create a multi-sig, right? So a multi-sig is just essentially a wallet that requires multiple signers in order to sign a transaction for it to actually pass. So rather than you having an individual wallet, you sign on it and the transaction pass, you need to wait for other signers. So let me say I create a multi-sig, right? And I say, okay, I'm going to send this asset to be stored onto this wallet, right? And then me and Precious, I'm going to invite Precious onto that multi-sig, right? And then say, okay, me and you in this wallet, we have this asset that signifies ownership of this property. And the way we're going to do this is that for any transaction to be made, so meaning sending that proof of ownership to any other person, right? There has to be two signatures, so consensus. So we say that for two signatures, that's when any transaction can be done on that wallet. And then we say, okay, great, good, we're going to do that. And then we're going to essentially pull any funds related to, managing that property, or funds that come out from, like, renting out or leasing or whatever thing, into that wallet. Meaning that it depends, me and him have to agree. So it can't be a situation where I say, okay, I put in this amount of money, right? I feel that I've been unfairly treated because I put in 40, I put in 60, he puts in 40, right? And so I'm just going to take all of the money, because I deserve more. That's where we've got, these, I said, these beautiful things smart contracts allow us to do, and just, limit the amount of access that we have to these, we can say, okay, this is my percentage of whichever funds that are in this multi-sig. This is precious percentage, and nothing should ever go, go above or beyond that. And so if I want money out of this, it will have to be, in consensus. I say, okay, this is how much I want. It's in accordance with the rules that we set up for this ratio and this other ratio. And, I want to withdraw, and he agrees, and we sign that transaction, and it goes. So that's just one simple way that that I'm thinking of how it works. And, there's actually a protocol doing something similar that I'll share with Precious to get all of you on.
Thanks for answering that question. I think that was a concise way of like putting an answer to everything like the question is asking about. So please, if you still have a question, kindly
yeah, there's another question.
Yeah.
So, but I think our boys can discuss because they can create documents perfectly and claim that, yeah, that's also one of the problems that, blockchain aims to solve in essence, because, ownership. So the other question is, how can we identify legit contract owner? The way we can identify legit contract owner and answer that previous question together, number one, we have a block, right? So it means that if I want to tokenize an asset and I say this is the genesis of this asset, it's going to be minted to my wallet, and this is the particular contract I did it. Let's call it real estate contract, right? This is the particular contract that did this. So because I tokenized it under my wallet, that main contract is going to essentially have that record of transactions, as well as, transactions. That's all that matters. Transactions. And then transactions boils down to where was this asset minted to this wallet? Where did it go from here? Was it sent and everything? So just from that, we're able to say that, okay, this came from my wallet originally. And because of the beautiful part of like blockchain, each iteration of that, I mean, the asset will have this one address, it will have a permanent address, but each iteration of like transactions using that asset will change, meaning that we'll still be able to track that exact one asset that we tokenized because of that tree of provenance that I was describing. And, which is another thing, coming to your second question, is like, how do we actually verify these things? And this is something that blockchain aims to improve, because imagine a situation where I followed that system I just gave a high level explanation. All right, it's very easy to identify just looking at a block scanner that, okay, this started here, this is his wallet address. If you can prove it's his wallet address, that's another zero knowledge side. But yeah, if you can prove it's his wallet address, it says, right, this is like the example. It's very easy to prove things on chain. You don't have to be, you don't have to have any technical knowledge or whatever. It's literally just following a trail of transactions. And imagine if we all use the system like that. How easy would it be to attest anything, And these other dApps and protocols on Ethereum, like EAS, the Ethereum Attestation Service, that also aims to attest things like, physical records onto chain. So this is a real problem that gets solved in two ways. It's an adoption aspect, as well as also just legislation, pushing the use of these technologies to be actual verifiable documents or systems that we can use in things like court or any, system. So I hope that answers your question.
I mean, that is a broad answer, and thanks for answering the question. I've definitely learned more about real-world assets, and I think I'm on my way to getting my first real-world asset after this workshop. So thanks a bunch for taking us through this training. We really appreciate it. And the next thing we're going to move forward to right now is oh sorry, I didn't share this. We've had our Q&A session, and sorry, let me just yeah. So the next session we're going to have is selfie time. So everyone please unmute rather like turn on your camera as we do normally, so we can have a selfie moment. So yeah, everyone turn up your camera. Want to see you, want to see those amazing faces. And yeah. Turn on your camera. I'll be taking a snapshot. Um, everyone, you can also like take a screenshot, because you can post this on X, on anywhere you want it. So let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. Great, awesome. And don't turn it off yet. Let me pin our speaker. So yeah. So now let's go again. 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, awesome. It's always nice to share these amazing moments and to see all of your amazing faces, so we can have a fun moment together. So I'm going to proceed to sharing my screen again. Apologies for the time we've taken. And at this point, Thomas, we appreciate your time here, sharing insight with us, like teaching us about DeFi, about reward assets, sharing about Summitshare. It is really much appreciated. I don't know if you have any final words before we proceed.
If I had any final words, is depending on which side you want to come off this, if you want to save, if you just want to improve your knowledge, or you want to contribute to like anything, there's a bunch of projects, there's a bunch of documentation and, amazing things like this that HelloFi is doing. Even on the CELO side, there's a bunch of good documentation on like anything regarding this space. So if you want to just further your knowledge, that's always a very commendable action to do, especially in this space as abstract as it is. So yeah, so 1000% congratulations to all of you for just putting in the time to do this, because I believe it's very important. We don't always want to hear that blockchain people are scammers. Change the narrative at least. So yeah, I believe this technology actually has a lot of the potential in order to just scale to this thing that solves a bunch of global problems and Africa problems, because we have a lot of problems, as you all know. So yeah, so let's just build what we want to see, and in accordance to what we want solved, I guess. Thank you.
That is amazing, and thank you for that insight. And yeah, thanks to everyone who joined this call to boost their knowledge. I, as a speaker and the lead of this DeFi Diplomas, have also learned a lot. We know we had people from Valora, from Mental Labs, from Celo. We had the founder of Celo here, and I was able to learn more to add to my knowledge. So I'm sure like many of us here has learned more about like DeFi and all of the topics that have been covered here. And we are in week 5, as we said earlier. We have 2 more weeks to go. Next week is really going to be amazing, as we're going to have 2 teams. We're going to have 2 projects who are going to be speaking next week. So you definitely don't want to miss it. We're going to share more details later. And at this point, thank you, Thomas, for joining this call. We would really appreciate if you want to still stick around. We're going to be closing up in less than 10 minutes. We're going to try to rush things off. But if you've got any other important thing to do right now, you can go off, but we would also love you to stay on the call to have fun with us. So yeah, thank you, Thomas. Next thing up, we're done with our selfie, and to the winner of last week contest, here we go. Are you ready, guys? Anybody excited? I want to oh, great. Thomas is preparing for another meeting. Thomas, I'm going to share you. You could just share me your CUSD or your Stellar wallet address, and I would add you to the list of the NFTs. So Thomas wants to have the NFTs to show you how important the NFTs are. So yeah, thank you, Thomas. And yeah,
Thank you, guys. Tokenize everything, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. Awesome. So, guys, here we go. This is the winner of last week's thread. Congratulations, Ndabari. We love the content you put out about the lessons you've learned. And guys, we also have something amazing for you today. So please stick around. And everyone, drop a congratulatory message to Ndabari on the chat, show your emojis. I mean, it's nice to applaud him for winning this. He's going to be going home with 30 CUSD. And please send me a DM already on X so you can receive your reward immediately. Last week we didn't get the DMs immediately. That was why there was a delay in the distribution. I'm hoping if I can get the wallet addresses today, I can make a distribution. And that is not all for the winners of last week competition. No, we still have more. And so, who are the remaining winners? Here we go. We spoke about distributing rewards to those who came first, second, third on the leaderboard. Since we already have Ndabari as a winner, we're going to be skipping him for this. But here we're going to share. I'm thinking what the reward should be. Yeah, okay, so we're going to give the first position here, we're going to give him 5 CUSD, and we're going to give the second position 3 USD, and we're going to give Patrick here 2 USD to make it a total of 10 USD we share on the quiz competition every week. And yeah, as I said, that is not still all. We have increased. Can I get some excitement? We've increased the amount of weekly rewards we want to be giving out. So what does it mean? It means you can earn as much as you want to. And yeah, let's go to the details. So here is our weekly trade competition. It is not more only $30 for one person now. We're going to be having 3 winners, and the $30 still remain for the first position. We're just going to be giving $15 to the second position, and we're going to be giving $5 to the third position. I mean, last week competition, we only had 2 people put out a trade, so it is worth giving it a shot. Just write a rundown of what you learned today. You can listen to the recording again if you want to take some extra notes and just put them down. Use the right hashtag, tag the required people, tag HelloFi, tag Thomas, tag Summitshare, and tag Focus Pilot. And that's me, so I can see whichever content you drop. And very more importantly, use the hashtag HelloFi DeFi Diplomas. With this, you can get you're eligible to win $30, $15, or $5. I mean, $5 will definitely get me a cup of coffee, so it's not a little amount of money, especially if you're in Africa. So I mean, it's a way to get started with stable coins if you have not started already. We talked about HelloFi points earlier. You could just decide to leave it on HelloFi to start getting points, and it is a way we reward our users. So yeah, now to the next thing. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this moment. So let's put a timeline to this moment, right? We're going to be having the quiz for 5 minutes. Sincere apologies, guys, for taking your time today. I really didn't mean to take more of your time, but we're going to end everything in the next 6 minutes. We're going to be done. So here is how it will go, right? We're going to have this quiz for 5 minutes. So at exactly 3:19 p.m. my time, maybe 4:19 p.m. some of you time, I'm going to be dropping the NFT link, and I'll leave it open for some time. So please make sure you get the link. I'll be on the call for quite some time to make sure everybody copy the link. So yeah, I'm ready to share. I'm ready to share the link for the quiz, and here we go. So here is the link. So I'm going to be sharing the screen so everyone can see you can see where you are. And guys, today we still want to give out like some rewards to the top winner. So the earlier you can get in, the better. Like it's going to be competition. What you've learned today is going to be you just like demonstrating what you've learned. 5 CUSD for the top winner, 3 USD for the second like winner, and 2 USD for the third winner. This is how we're going to distribute the reward. So let's get started. Let me see. I'm sure some people would have started to like join. So let's view the leaderboard. Oh, great. We have Amara Chiku. Wow. Great, great, great. We have 3 players so far. So guys, I hope you can see how this is going on so fast. I need all of you to join in. We just have 3 players right now. Okay, we have 4. Let's go. Okay, look at Bushman has missed 1 point. It's fun to always see how like people recalibrate on the leaderboard. Let's go. Guys, join. We have Coco Rank, who was like one of the winners for last week. He's at the top of the leaderboard now. Guys, put in your effort and like make sure you get to the top of the leaderboard. Let's go. We have 7 people who have joined in already. We have Coco Rank taking the lead. I think Coco Rank is like a DeFi king because he seems to like always take the lead. We have Ndabari, Patrick, all of them still coming up. So let's see. We've got a total of 10 players now, 11 players. Let's go, guys. Let's go. In 2 minutes, I'll be sharing the link to the NFT. So guys, join the quiz and make sure, okay, we have local Bushman has gotten 10 of 11, and we have Kokonrek as the first winner. Congratulations to you, Kokonrek. Congratulations. Please immediately send a DM. Patrick, you still have a chance. If you can get 11 of 11, you can displace people here. And everyone who hasn't missed the question yet, you have a chance of displacing everyone here. So let's go. Please, okay. Let's get the full number of winners before like anybody sends a DM. That was awesome. Adibola, I think probably you are Kuko rank. Congratulations if that was you. And now let me just copy the link for our NFT. No worry if you're still on the quiz. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to wait till like you're done with the quiz. And yeah. So let's see. Oh, we have Rex, Emmy, who has gotten 11 points or so. So who can still take the lead? Ndabari, if you like try your best, you are able to like still take the lead here. So let's see how it goes. And meanwhile, it's already time to share the link for the NFT. So here we go. I've just shared the link and I'll be on the call for like some minutes so we can have people who are playing the quiz still join. 11 of 11. Congratulations, Rex. That was really awesome. Congratulations, local Bushman. Congratulations, Amarachuku, Patrick, 08065. Congratulations, King FM. Congratulations, Lukman, Chidubim, Dabari, great. Jesse, Ayofe, Olua, Eric, David. Congratulations to all of you. For you participating in this quiz, it means that you've actually like learned something from the class we just finished, and it's quite amazing to see that you're able to demonstrate what you've learned. For those, for instance, Lukman, King Easy, who has got maybe 3 questions wrong, it doesn't mean like you're like you. I mean, it doesn't mean that you didn't like get everything well. It just means that you just probably need to like read um the workshop document I'll be sharing with you, or probably listen to the recording to learn better. So yeah, you're going to understand more about how DeFi and the reward asset works. So ultimately, we've got 19 players. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined this quiz. I'm going to leave the quiz running for like some more minutes so we can get everybody in. So thank you guys for joining the call. I've seen 5 responses on the quiz form. So um no, Adeboye, we haven't announced the winner of the last quiz on Twitter. We do the announcement after this class, so you should be expecting an announcement soon. So thank you guys for joining the call, for your time. We really appreciate you. I should resend the NFT link here. Here you go. I resent it. I'm going to be ending the recording now, but I'm still going to stay on the call. So no worries. Feel free to like continue with the quiz. I'm going to be here for the next 4 minutes. So I have